Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna here. Here basically we are discussing about one topic, that is currencies. And in currencies basically we are discussing one topic, that is ideas. In ideas basically we are discussing one topic, that is global warming. And global warming are equal to not error basically. Global warming are equal to error getting solved basically. Error are getting, in this basically we are discussing one topic, that is cities creation basically is okay other than creation of planets basically. So in this basically one of the person told that basically what is the main basically source basically from where the entire creation basically starts. Then one of the person told that nuclear energy plant is the only the one of the source. On the basis of that basically the entire creation basically starts basically. In this basically the human souls basically gets creates. Human souls are the souls basically before the, so nuclear company basically gets the data of the nuclear, sorry, gets the data of the human souls, that you have to add this all these things basically when you are creating the human souls. So one person told that basically how God basically gets separates when you create the human souls basically, when the groups of, when the set of groups basically creates the human souls, that time basically, for example, Hindu human souls is getting created, right? In Hindu basically lots of God basically are there, right? So how basically the human souls group basically say that that also 100% basically that this person is going to believe in Hanuman God only, Hanumanji God only. This person is going to believe in Shiv Shankar God only basically. This person is going to believe in Sri Krishna God only. How they basically are so 100%, not 100%, 99%. The reason behind is when the human souls basically are created, that time basically the God energy are also dumped. For example, Krishna Bhagwan God is going to believe, so Krishna Bhagwan data basically are added in that human souls. For example, he is going to believe in Hanuman God, then basically the Hanuman God, human souls data basically are added. Like this in Muslims, like this in Christian also basically are lots of things basically are there. Like this is the base basically, on the base of, and one person told that basically you can't change the human souls. You can't change the human souls basically. Then one of the person told that mostly basically possible basically, because if human is basically getting changed suddenly he gets changed, then basically human souls basically has changed basically. He's from his body basically the human souls has changed. So that basically is one of the magic basically you can say. In that basically entire blood cells data basically got changed and basically modified. Due to that basically the human souls only basically got changed. That basically very rare happens basically, because once the human souls is once the, only from one body basically only one human cells basically is gets activity. Another human souls basically very rare body basically accept that basically. So that is also basically there basically, that very rare basically body basically accept that basically. So like these things are also basically there basically. So lots of people says that basically the base is the human souls, and after the human souls only the entire creation basically works basically. Entire creation basically works here. So like this only basically entire creation basically works. Entire creation basically works here. Entire souls basically works here basically. So your main is basically the human souls. That is the main. Then basically things basically are connecting basically. So one of the person told me glacier basically is the main na basically. On the base of glacier only the building basically gets created. But glacier also basically are tested, and then only basically here the glacier basically creation happens. That basically is human body basically generates, then human souls basically are created, lots of things basically happen, then only basically the glacier also basically gets created. It's not like that basically glacier basically creates automatically basically, that are also basically tested, and then only basically the glacier gets. So in this world basically around assume that 100 crore building basically are there. So 100 crore building basically is connected with the one glacier basically. If that glacier is telling that basically you can only have 98 crore buildings basically, then 2 crore buildings basically are extra basically. So for that basically you gets the time basically either to do something in glacier basically, that basically is very difficult to change the glacier basically. So they basically checks the building basically, if anything basically can do to that building basically. If they can't do, then basically they destroy the building basically. That's very dangerous basically. If you first you create, then basically you destroy also basically. First to create, and then basically you destroy the thing basically. So like these basically things basically are there. So first you create the building, and then basically you destroy the building. But that basically very rare happens basically. That very rare happens. One of the person told that basically 100 crore is the capacity, right? You told that basically 100 crore is the capacity. And in 100 crore, if the capacity is of 100 crore, then then sorry, capacity is of 98 crore, but created 100 crore. So 2 crore basically is extra basically. So they basically repairs the building, or basically they destroy that 2 crore building. 2 crore building means it comes to few countries basically. 2 to 3 countries basically, when you merge the thing basically, then only basically the 2 crore buildings basically comes. That also not 2 3 buildings with 2 3 countries basically, more than 10 countries basically. Then only basically the data matches to the 98 crore basically. So that's basically very dangerous thing basically. That is very dangerous thing basically. Few people says that we are checking basically, but like this basically you can't play with the entire universe basically. That's basically the human tendency basically. If you are handling the entire world basically, your brains gets this type of ideas basically. The reason you will be responsible for whatever things is going to happen in the world. So that's why basically you keeps on doing R&D research, like NASA, ISRO basically always keeps on doing the research basically. Why? Because whatever things is going to happen related to science basically, related to energies, they will be supposed to give answer to the satellite groups. They are basically no, there is no reporting person in Earth planet, but they are supposed to give answer to satellite groups, and satellite groups are basically directly connected with the business industry basically, that are the businessmen basically. So indirectly basically you have to give the answer to the businessman basically, and that's basically they don't want to give, they don't want to give. That's why basically they always keeps on doing R&D and keeps on doing the research of the each and every, like this glacier basically is the 98 is the capacity, and basically 100 crore created. So this was basically not tracked like this basically things basically. So system basically say that basically